Ladies and gentlemen, the final contest of the afternoon is a heavyweight contest consisting of 6 5-minute rounds. 1 fall, 1 submission or a knockout to decide the winner. Between on my left and in the red corner from Gillingham, Wayne Bridges. His opponent on my right and in the blue corner from Croydon, Steve Veidor.
Thank you, Mike Judd. Steve Veidor then, now of Croydon, but of course formerly from Ellesmere Port in Cheshire. 15 stone 1 of Steve, giving away quite a bit here today to Wayne Bridges. There he is. 16 stone 4 of Wayne Bridges, 6 foot 1 inch. Both about the same. Had Steve a little shorter, maybe. 1 fall to decide this one. And Steve Veidor in his usual lighter trunks that on a black and white set will probably look white. The bandage on Wayne Bridges' right arm will help identify if at any time you cannot see the trunks. So 6 5-minute rounds. 1 fall decides this one, and there should really be some good wrestling here. 2 of the very top leading contenders in the heavyweight bracket, and also 2 of the perhaps the best looking hunks of wrestler we've seen in the ring together for quite some time. Get more letters for photographs of these 2 than practically anybody else in the business. See how the deliberate way Steve Veidor went into that full Nelson. Wayne Bridges allowed it. Now let's see why. He wants to prove he can break it, I suppose, even with that bandage on his right arm. Flyer, pass flyer, Wayne Bridges on the top of the cross press, but no, a little too late with that one. But that flying tackle didn't quite operate either for Steve Veidor. Bridges with the bridge, if you'll pardon the pun. Double-handed interlock between these 2 men. I don't know who I would back. Most weight holds, of course, Bridges is going to have the advantage, but Veidor's speed is so terrific that it'll counteract that up to a point. Less than a couple of minutes to go now in round 1. Side head Chancery Bridges. And the forecast, Walton forecast, it'll probably go wrong. I bet you that Max Ward, the referee, has nothing to do in this bout at all regarding warriors. Can't see either of these 2 men getting temperamental and starting off a needle. Pull on, grab it, hold, 2 Bridges. Forcing Veidor down, back to canvas, but certainly can't hold him there with that. Not the shoulder blades down for 3 anyway. A minute to go. Got to get those arms down as well. Let's get the shoulder blades covered. Seconds. Veidor fights his way up, still in the same hold. Interesting to see how he counters this. Still there, the grab it. Eight seconds. Veidor didn't worry anymore. Just a couple of seconds to go. From the point of view of a pinfall, of course, he didn't worry anymore, but the neck knows that he's been in a hole for a long time there, and a powerful one, because this boy, his opponent today, has got a tremendous amount of that power. Steve Veidor, of course, both these men run their own public houses now, actually. Steve Veidor in Wallingham and Wayne Bridges in Clapham. So they're both part-time wrestlers nowadays.
Seconds away, round 2.
Round 2, 5 to go. 1 fall to decide the bout. Heavyweight, Wayne Bridges versus Wayne Bridges of Gillingham, of course, versus Steve Veidor. Now, Bill from Croydon, folding press, Veidor, but I don't know if he can hold that this early. Grapple fans will remember Wayne Bridges in the tremendous bout a few months ago on a Saturday afternoon between him and Mike Marino. Mike Marino coming up with weight for him. But of course he is a student, a protege of Mike Marino's. Mike Marino started him off in the ring, and it was a great bout. I'm hoping this one will be half as good as that bout was versus Marino. Has every chance of being. Position of Veidor's left knee there, stopping his man turning. Therefore the arm lever more effective. Bridges turning with it, but he's soon turned back. Had to. Double-handed wrist lever of Veidor's, lasting almost as long as the grab it did in round 1 of Bridges. Reaching for the head mare, gets it, but Veidor still holds onto the lever. Well, he whipped out well, but Bridges knows that that left arm of his has been in that lever for so long. And Veidor wants to go for it very quick again now. A good weak nerve becomes useless if it's not followed up quickly. And there it is, backhammer. But Bridges out quick. 2 minutes to go, round 2. Oh, that's more than Bridges style strength hold to the bear hug there, but it didn't last. And over the top for a shoulder press by Veidor, but the feet of Bridges through the ropes must mean the break. I don't think at as early as the first 2-3 rounds anyway, that Veidor could have held that even if he hadn't been so near the ropes. Again, the bear hug. And the butt off the ropes to follow. 1 minute left. We're concentrating on this bear hug move now. Oh yes, a flyer, typical Veidor flyer there. A little bit late, and he was caught in the body scissors. Veidor, by leaning back there, taking the pressure off, but have to try it again. That's better. He's only got about 10 seconds to go. So far, our forecast is correct that this remained very sporting, both men. Wayne Bridges from Gillingham, 16-4, an amateur, of course, with Ashdown Club in London. As a middleweight, defeated then the then British champion in those days, but turned pro full-time in the mid-60s and still trains with the weights. As I said earlier, Mike Marino started him off as a pro, and I should think Mike is pretty proud of his protege.
Seconds away, round 3.
Round 3, 4 to go. Bridges versus Veidor. Veidor in the lighter trunks. Back to us now in the corner. And Bridges really caught that one. The left ear especially. But it's a great get out to a bear hug. Veidor going in with a side head chancery now. Holding the chancery well away from him. So Bridges concentrating too much on the chancery on his own neck to have much time to worry about a counter at the moment. Now finally going for one. Yes, he shouldn't have, because the chancery is still there. Over the top cross press. He didn't go for the cross press, Bridges, for some reason there. Natural follow-up, and still that chancery is there, and it gets a 2 count on a pinfall chance. Veidor. And another 2, but each time Max Ward's voice says 2, Wayne Bridges just rolls out of trouble.